What's up, guys? It's Matt Vaughan and CardsChat Pro here with another video, a play and explain. We're going to be playing some PLO today. Not my usual game, not always playing, but I thought it was going to be interesting to hop into this one. You can see we have a player playing 96% of hands and raising most of them. So this is going to be an interesting dynamic to just jump into, start talking about. And again, as usual, we'll really just be talking about the spots that I myself play, but we're kicking it off here with ace 10, 5, 5. I imagine this player will lead a lot of hands on this board because that's just kind of how he's playing. I think against the small size, we can peel one. A 5 is usually a clean out. A jack is an out to the nuts. So against small size, we'll peel. We have a backdoor flush draw as well. We have a blocker to the nuts here, so I'm going to go 2/3, three quarters, and then we'll probably just give up river now. Are we supposed to give up river? It's probably close. Against the guy with the 96% VPIP, we certainly rep Jack 10, but hard to know if he'll actually fold. I haven't been on the table long at all. But with the blocker, I'm going to go for it. A little bit not as great to have clubs in hand. He can have King X of clubs still, but he may not fold, and he doesn't. King 10, 9, 3, got the 3 pair. Pretty standard spot for him to call, I would say, with a 10 in hand. But yeah. Here we will peel the ace 10, 10, 5. Definitely never 3-betting this against a player who's shown a big propensity to get super aggressive. We are into this game for a little bit. Flop ourselves middle pair, not worth much in PLO. The pair of 10s has some very, very tiny amount of showdown value, only if it checks through. And yeah, on a queen in particular, not really going to look that good. I think a lot of players will just check a ton of the hands that have a queen in them. And then they run into it here. And as we saw from the previous hand, we probably shouldn't be doing a whole lot of bluffing. Here I'm going to call. I would probably 3-bet this at a pretty non-zero frequency, but with a big blind who's going to 3-bet it. Well, he doesn't here, but who's going to 3-bet a ton. I'm just going to call and plan to either back raise or call against a 3-bet. We flop 2 pair, but it's not that great of a spot given that Jack 10 is obviously the winning hand. But when it checks twice through, I think we do have an okay value bet. No additional straights come in. Jack 10 is still the only straight. So besides sets that come in, we have a pretty clear value bet, I think. But it'll get through quite a bit. Probably too big of a size on my part. We could probably go smaller, like 50%. All right, so I missed a lot of the hands that went down, just had something come up. But we're now playing heads up. I might circle back to a couple hands that were played earlier, but for now we're going to just be playing some heads up PLO. Looks like we are about 100 bigs effective here. So yeah, I mean, I am by no means a heads up PLO expert. You're just going to hear my sort of relatively unfiltered thoughts as we go. And I'll have to be pretty quick since the time bank is not that forgiving. But on this board with very little equity, I'm just going to check back. We do pick up a pair, but that's not worth much. Big gutter's worth a little bit more. We can just fold to pot though. No spades in hand, very relevant when a second spade hits the board. For anybody who has not played a lot of PLO, the fact that there's another spade on the board and we have 4 cards each, just very, very relevant. The flush draws are always very relevant. So flop bottom 2 here. In a limped pot, I'm just going to lead out for 3 quarters. Look to get some action from a king, from gutters, from flush draws. Also, it's probably an okay hand to just check call just because we don't have diamonds in hand, but I am going to call this raise. This player has shown a propensity to put some action in there, but we just get one of the worst turns in the deck, so we'll be giving up if they bet again. River a boat, and I don't expect him to do much of our betting for us now, and I don't think we get a lot of action, so I'm going to put out a little bit of a block bet here, just try to get called by a weird king. Yeah, I mean, he actually has a king high flush, which is pretty interesting that he raises flop with it, but doesn't want to bet turn. I mean, obviously I missed value against his exact holding, but what can we really do? He's 3-betting a lot, but this hand's just a little too disconnected to continue. The 8-3 is terrible with the king queen. Even if it was like king queen 9-8, king queen 8-6 with the flush draw, with one flush draw, I would probably continue. It's interesting. He folds a good amount of buttons, even heads up, but he is, I don't know, maybe she, who knows. But this player is 3-betting above GTO, but I think opening below GTO, which is sort of unusual in my experience. Jack 10-8-4 will be a defend. Not going to be an ISO raise here. I guess it's not really an ISO anyway. Here I am going to check the bottom two with a straight draw, a straight possible, and flush draws out there. Bottom two with a 10 blocker is going to be pretty good. Just check down probably. We could go for some thin value here. Another straight does come in 9-7. Feels pretty close. I'll just bet min. I imagine there's some like, oh wow, he limps the button with aces. These are pretty bad aces, but the second pair is helpful at least. I'm pretty surprised they didn't raise that. Let me see if we get 3-bet again. I will continue this combo that's reasonably connected, and we'll just spike it. He checks. Paired board is going to be worse for the aggressor here. Low paired board, flush draw board. We have no spades, so I'm going to just bet 50%. I might bet a little smaller sometimes, but worst card in the deck. He probably doesn't have it that often. I thought that was a jack at first. But when he bets 3/4, we probably just have to give it to him. Against, like, at a higher stakes game, against really thinking players, I might consider turning this into a bluff with no spades in hand, hoping he folds, like, the non-ace high flush and things like that. But yeah, I think there's some boats out there, and as well as many flushes that will not fold. So we're not gonna turn the trips into a bluff, and we are gonna fold it. He has probably a few bluffs there available as well. By the way, I'm not suggesting that he never has a bluff. This player never has a bluff. But yeah, we'll happily raise the jacks here. Connected. If he 3-bets, we'll call, just because again he's 3-betting quite a bit. And we can't just roll over heads up. There's nowhere to go if we open any 3-bets. Like, it's just us. So we gotta continue a fair bit. Many hands have to call to a 3-bet heads up, and it looks like they're sitting out. So we will take a short break here. But if they come back around, we will continue. If this ends up being the end of the video, this has been Matt Vaughan, School of Cards. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a play and explain rather, in not my main game, but my second. Well, in poker, it's a little weird. It's like it's my second game, but not my second format. So No Limit Tournament's kind of the #1 format right now. No Limit Cash, kind of the next format. And then PLO Cash, the one after that. And some mixed games here and there, but hard to find that action sometimes on the internet. So yeah, thank you for watching. It has been a blast recording this one. It's always fun to get into those PLO streets. Doesn't always run on Club GG either. But I will see you in another video very soon. And don't forget that I have an Ask Me Anything thread on CardsChat.com. You can find that link in the description down below, and many more cool things over there. So hope to see you soon. And it turns out we just got buttoned. I was trying to show you guys a hand. And I had the hand history replayer pulled up. I wasn't sitting out because no one was at the table, and the guy who had been sitting out the whole time decided to sit back in on a whim and then raise and button me and not sit in for even one more second, because he got away with $2, so, or $1 rather. So an unfortunate one there, but I did want to show you guys one more hand history if I can find it back again. It's probably, which one is it? Oh no, did I lose it? It's probably still hand 70. There it is, 75. All right, so in this hand we have a raise to 350 from under the gun, a call from myself in the cutoff. The small blind also calls, and then the big blind raises. It's enough to put the under the gun player all in. I make the call as well with the connected hand. Not necessary, definitely on the edge, pretty borderline here. And small blind calls as well. Who is the player who's playing very many hands? Flop comes out a6-6, so we flop trips. Checks to me. And so if it had been bet, I would not be raising. It's just too weak of a hand. We don't have enough hearts as well for backup equity. We do have some like backdoor straight stuff. Obviously, we can hit boats. And so that's why I end up betting. But if it had been bet, I would not be raising. So we bet, get called. You can see we are behind, but we do end up binking the clean out for the boat, and we just go for max value here. There's nothing else to be done. On the turn, we bet, we get called, and on the river, yes, technically they can have 10-9 of hearts. We're blocking 5-4 and 9-5 of hearts, thankfully. But this player has just shown a propensity to get a little out of line. We're also losing to several other boats, obviously a 6. 8-6, something like 8-8-6x. I don't think the player ever has ace 6x, so that's a little less relevant. I don't think they have any ace combos, and any 8-8 combos are unlikely as well. Maybe something like 8-8-7 something, but again, that's pretty heavily blocked. So end up winning the maximum there, getting pretty lucky. But it's important to show how, like, when you do have these big hands in PLO that are invulnerable and you're in position, you just kind of have to bet, because nobody's going to do your betting for you when you're in position. It's already checked. So interesting one there. I think there might have been one other interesting spot, but we might be calling it there. I think we're going to call it there. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching. I already gave the whole spiel. So we'll call it here, and I'll see you in another video very soon.